What it is, what it do, and how the hell are all of you? George truly, Petra, fucker back with another mother love. You already know the deal. Grab your smoke and grab your drink and lock in with your boy, because we back with another one. Man, if the progressive left couldn't go after somebody, what would they do? That is the question. And by that, we got Aaron Rodgers being lambasted for being unvaccinated, getting COVID-19. Gosh forbid you don't get the jab. Suddenly the whole world gets to have an opinion on your life and what you should do. And then you got Kyrie Irving has people who go protest the Barclays Center not letting them play. People are definitely people. You know what I mean? And then one of the most weird ones was to me, man, Beal, he's a basketball player. I don't remember his first name. He got mad that Ted Cruz said he stands with all the players that are choosing not to get the vaccine and to fight the mandate. He said, I don't rock with you. We're not cool. I don't follow you. I don't like you. I don't talk to you. And all it made me think was, it just shows, to me, it showed what I already knew. That people are not inherently compassionate. I told somebody once on TikTok that the human race is not inherently compassionate. They directed me to go to Google and to type in to see if they were. I don't believe everything that Google tells me. I go off a lot of what I see. And I think it's really easy to say people are compassionate. And they're not. And their compassion only goes to a point. Empathy only goes to a point. Like, let's be honest here. Let's be realistic. I'm not saying that you can't be compassionate. I'm not saying you can't be empathetic to people you don't know. But it only goes as far as you allow it to go. And I think some people like to use the rhetoric instead of actually being honest about it themselves. I think it's really easy to say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and not be any one of those things, but yet you can sit and tell somebody that you're that awesome, you're all that in a bag of chips. And when I say it like that, I say it because that's how I see it, and that's how I'm going to continue to look at it and see it. I see people lie, cheat, steal to get to whatever end that they can get to, however they can get there. And then turn around and act as if they're holier than thou or the most righteous person to walk the block. And that's on every side. And I think we've all seen that. I think everybody's seen people that do that. And I think that's one of the easiest things to point out. And I think when people go after Aaron Rodgers, for not getting the shot, and then they're going to wish him death threats, this, that, the other, that's extremely baffling to me and extremely one-sided. Because then it just shows compassion really just goes out the window when the person doesn't bow to what you wanted to bow to. Your empathy only goes as far as you allow it to go because of something the person doesn't do what you want or isn't doing something that you enjoy or something you've done. And when I think of people that wish death on others because they haven't got the vaccine, I think they need seriously mental help. I think they need to go see a doctor. I think they need to see a psychiatrist. I think they really need mental help because something's wrong with them. There's something wrong with you if you want someone to die because they didn't bow to your will. And the more people that fight back the mandate, all it does, is empower them. Fuck the mandates movement. And I think something else is extremely funny. You got people. Let's pull it up. So I pulled up a couple of things, but I heard on the Buck Sexton, and I think it's Clay Thompson, is his name? Clay Thomas? I'm not sure what his last name is, but they have a show, a talk show, or talk radio show, and they was talking about, people were getting mad that the word woke, they were trying to change, the meaning of it to be more of, an insult against, when the right says, oh, you're too woke, or something like that to the left, it takes an insult. And I kind of laughed at that because it makes me think how mad the left got with the Let's Go Brandon chant. How mad could you possibly get at just some words? And the funniest part is how many people said, fuck Donald Trump, wished him death, this, that, the other. But the minute the code is turned for Biden, it's it's everything under the sun. You're un-American, you're a piece of trash, it's racist, it's everything. It's hilarious. And it's hilarious to see such people go to bat for someone that said black people are super predators. I'm never going to let that go. But I think it's funny when they all preach that shit, let's go Brandon, it's so bad, when you have Antifa still out here trying to run roughshod whenever they see an opportunity. And there's a lot of videos from this Boston. Boston had a rally for against mandates out. And Antifa was going to show up and, start some fights. And then that's what they did. But we'll go to the Daily Caller right here. Boston anti-mandate protest turns violent after Antifa shows up. The anti-mandate demonstration was organized by a group called Super Happy Fun America. It was set to begin at 12 p.m. Sunday at Boston Common. Fox News reported people gathered there to speak out against vaccine and mask mandates when Antifa groups showed up to confront protesters, according to Fox News. Then this was the one right here. This picture. Maybe I'll pull up. This picture itself came from an Antifa organization. And if you go on Twitter and you type in Antifa, it's going to bring you to 20 different groups. It's not even, so that's when people say it's an idea, this, that, the other. Clearly it's not. Clearly it's a group, and clearly they are banding together to do whatever they need to do. And if we're going to call Antifa an idea, then I'm going to call the Crips and Bloods an idea. And I'm not gonna stop there. Now, it's fucked up that they still show up when they don't like what they have to hear. They show up and they want to talk shit, this, that, the other. They want to start fights. They want to do this, that, the other. They want to get into it because they don't like what another group is trying to protest or speak out against. And you can't have a different opinion from someone in Antifa without somebody in Antifa getting mad. They've made that shit clear. They fight each other over their own rhetoric and their own words. Now, this guy said Antifa has sent a message for comrades to oppose and attack the protest against COVID tyranny on Boston Common, saying opposing government mandates is white supremacist and fascist. Fighting ongoing, a SWAT team called in. And the funniest thing is when the police get called in, you hear Antifa start to really bark, really start to howl because they're getting pulled away because they're the ones starting the shit. How many times have we seen it? We've seen it so often, it's almost become normal. And that's the sad part, is it should never be considered normal. It should never be considered okay for them to get away with some of the shit that they get away with. And we need to be open and honest about that all day, every day. Now, we don't want that in our city. Anti-vaxxers, people who don't believe in COVID, is real. People that put other people in danger, racist, transphobes, that people that hate other people on the way for the way they are. That's not okay, said counter-protesters Rafika Handelman, Emerson College student, according to the Herald. Hold up. So let's use her words against her. Most conservatives don't care if you're vaccinated, don't care if you're trans, don't care if you're gay, don't give a fuck about you. They want to live their lives the way they would like to live their lives. And they don't want you to have any opinion in it. Yet, the left wants that same thing, but yet they want you to bow to what they want. We don't want transphobes. We don't want transphobes. We don't want no cisphobes. We also don't want people that demand that straight people have to sleep with trans people or lesbians have to sleep with trans people. We do not want the trans community imposed on us the way it's being imposed. No matter how you try to flip it at all. That's what's happening. It's being imposed against so many people's wills, no matter how they see fit. And if they don't agree with it, they're automatically the bad guy, they're the hateful one, and rah, rah, rah. Now, as we go, damage brought in by protesters, damage, driver arrested, waiting on more deals. See, they love to get these U-Haul trucks and do whatever they're going to do, get all their weapons together, or jump out like it's fucking Spartacus or some shit. Let's keep it a buck. Let's make as much fun as we can, because we all know they're not 300. We all know they do not have the strength of 10 men. They have the strength of, 5, 6 ants, maybe a cockroach. And then when we go here, you know, this is a Monday. This was on Monday. This was, is it the Boston one? University of Utah braces for protesters. White wing commentators. Ben Shapiro speaks on campus. Let's pull that up and see what it has to say. Might just be the picture. Looks like it's just the picture. Waste of a motherfucking article. Let's be honest. That's a waste of time, effort, and energy by the contributor Chrissy Clark, especially if all you got is a fucking picture. Then we got here, mask mandate ends too soon. This is Palm Beach Daily News. I am disappointed at the Palm Beach County Schools ending the mask mandate. Thank God that they got rid of the mask mandate. These kids don't need to be a mask. They damn sure don't need the vaccine. No matter how many times people try to push it, flip it, make it that's what it is. Kids do not need the vaccine. Kids are not making adults out here fucking sick on a everyday basis by the hundreds of thousands of teachers. That's not happening. It's just not. And I think when you hear Antifa talk about medical tyranny, I think conservatives feel the same way about medical tyranny when you're starting to go after my kids so I can comply and so that I listen to your bullshit and I comply to what you want me to comply to. And I've made it clear before, I bow to nobody except God. I bow to no one except Jesus. And if you ain't Jesus, you ain't God, I ain't kneeling. And now I've made it clear, I live in one of the most democratic states in the motherfucking union. Literally getting more the city is getting more progressive every day. Where I live, not so much. But I see it happening, and it does affect me. And when I see things like this, it's almost nasty. We're supposed to be okay wearing a mask. We're supposed to be okay not going into buildings. We're supposed to be okay losing just, I guess, in my eyes, human rights. The ability to live your life the way you want. We're losing that. And then you still have people trying to say, well, you still have to mask up. Still need to mask up your kids. Still need to do this, the other. Fuck, Barely Formed with Elad. He just dropped a video about New York against anti-vaxxers, or whatever it was. The one lady, she made it clear that she thinks that if you don't want to get the vaccine, you shouldn't be able to leave your house. And if you don't have the vaccine, you shouldn't be able to lease an apartment. That, to me, is outrageous. That's outlandish. That's crazy. And that cannot be acceptable in any country, any type of let's coexist. It sounds like a lot of these crazy leftists don't only want to coexist under their banner of coexisting. And it says, I can't believe, it says right here, media coverage warranted. I cannot believe that there are people still rehashing media coverage of the Unite the Right rally in Charleston 4 years ago. Oh, if they could talk about that, they would talk about that till their faces turned blue. And I remember seeing it on TV thinking, that's fucking stupid, that's dumb, dumbass motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, most people I know, that grew up in my generation, don't like racists. We don't like white supremacists, none of that shit. But as I've said before, most people have never punched them Nazis, and now most people have never punched them a skinhead. I've been one of the lucky motherfuckers that have fought with a skinhead before. I stomped his ass with his boots on. You know what I mean? Like, dude had his little stomper boots, and he got knocked the fuck out. Because he said some racist shit. But when you go to an ALC, an asshole's last chance, you go deal with all aspects of life. Good, bad, and ugly. And then, I just clicked it because I seen it, but, the Unite the Right trial, local reverend is confronted with controversial tweets. We can pull that up. This is an hour ago. Reverend Seth Wispeley, born and bred in Charleston with the United Church of Christ. He is also co-founder of the Congregate, an organization for non-violent protest, coordinator for Charlottesville residents in preparation for the event of August 11th and 12th. You see, it's not just rehashing it. If the left can bring this up and make people talk about, that's what they're going to do. I mean, let's go here. Let's look up this real quick. Don Lemon. Oh, not Kevin. Lemon. So, what's the truth about the lawsuit? 2019 was sued by a bartender alleged that Lemon assaulted him at the bar in Hamptons. This week, Dustin Heiss claimed the Lemon's actions towards him could be part of a bigger pattern. He went on the Megyn Kelly show to talk about the experience and said anybody that acts like that in public without any fear of what it might do to somebody or consequences, it means that's been a pattern. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's protected by the fact that he's an African-American gay man on television, and I'm just some nobody. Now, Lemon's own attorneys have doubled down on Heiss for the allegedly deleting texts and possibly offering financial compensation to key witnesses who could corroborate his story via the New York Post. The witness who wasn't sure if there was any physical contact between the two was allegedly withheld by Heiss' attorneys. According to Lemon's court filings, photographic evidence of Heiss posing with Lemon on his crotch and rolling on Don Lemon's driveway were also uncovered. Lemon's legal team also said that the CNN host is often subjected to racist and homophobic harassment, and there was no truth to the assault claim per the New York Post. Now, like Matt Walsh would say, if you're gonna make claims like death threats, this, that, the other, you really have to have the proof. You have to have the receipts. So if Don Lemon is harassed as often as he says, maybe he should just have an ongoing GoPro. Because I highly doubt that this man is harassed as often as he would like people to believe. I'm just going to say that outright. But he had said, right here, Don Lemon blasted the defund the police movement with scathing comments. Nearly a week after Election Day, political strategists started working to better describe what took place. A serious fucking loss is what took place. And a serious fuck you to the progressive movement took place. And that's why these assholes are so mad. In somewhat surprising turn events, Democratic candidates lost key races in Virginia and nearly lost the race in the gubernatorial in New Jersey. Some feel that the events of November 2nd were driven by slower than expected economic recovery and disputes over the public education system. Meanwhile, Democrat political consultants James Carville attempted to pin disappointments on stupid wokeness. Well, what went wrong is this stupid wokeness, Bill Clinton's former campaign manager James Carville said during an appearance on PBS NewsHour. Let's pull that up. I think this is it, yeah. Judy Woodruff discusses Tuesday's elections, outcomes and implications with veteran Democratic strategist James Carville. The full transcript. And help us understand more about what the election's results mean. I'm joined by 3 political experts. One, we got James Carville, Amy Walter, Barbara Comstock. All right. I'm going to go to James Carville. Let's roll down. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Hang in with your boy. Like that bowl. Okay. And to just clarify, James Carville, before I go to Barbara Comstock, you're saying President Biden is not a drag for Democrats. Yes, the fuck he is. You know what? Maybe he's not a drag for Democrats. Maybe he is the perfect puppet. Maybe he is the perfect patsy. Maybe he is the perfect bitch. Because this man does whatever he's told to do, however he's told to do it. And you can tell when they want him to be on point because they give him Adderall, and you can tell him when they don't because they let him fall asleep. It be wild, right? That's how I look at it, man. I'm going to keep saying he's got to be on Adderall because this man be up and at it sometimes and dead asleep others, man. Carville said, well, look, he probably was somewhat, but I don't think so. Youngkin never mentioned President Biden. He just let the Democrats sit there and light themselves up. And literally, Terry just got caught up in it. But I don't think he can be. If they get through this, they got a lot of good things in it. And they got a lot to sell it. If they don't, every Democrat wants to be policy maven. No one wants to be the salesperson because they don't have a sales tactic. Let's be honest, James Carville. What message are they going to push that won't get the progressive left jumping down their throat like AOC has jumped down Biden's throat and so many that blame stupid wokeness for losing the elections? We all know that's what lost the elections. But the wokenists don't see it that way. They want to blame white supremacy. And then you have other Democrats who are okay to jump on that board because, let's be honest, it gets them pandering points. He said, well, you got to get out there and sell your product and tell people what's in it and quit worrying about being in the policy shop or being some self-important bureaucrat. That's what I think. And, I mean, he's probably got a point. I mean, he had Clinton. He was the strategist for Clinton. You might want to listen to his ass. You just might want to. But he goes, let me see. Okay, Carville's comments angered many Democrats, including AOC of New York. The second-term Congresswoman feels that Carville's word was still younger voters away from the polls. Not to mention, Carville didn't present any data to support his assertion that stupid wokeness determined the outcomes of the key races. He doesn't need to bring receipts that prove that. Stupid wokeness has lost the Democrats more seats and more than it hasn't in the past 2 elections. AOC had the same argument with Bernie Sanders or whoever else when Biden won and he lost a lot of seats in Congress. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. You guys are losing people left and right, especially when it comes to these local races, because people are starting to think about what they got going on in their community. They don't care about what happens in New York if they live in the middle of fucking Virginia. They got to worry about Virginia. They can't worry about what AOC wants, but AOC wants them to worry about what she wants and what the wokeness party wants. Before the people disingenuously complain, woke is whatever for older people. It actually pundits like Carville using the term woke to insult voters under 45 is what's denigrating. Denigrating? Don't wonder why youth turnout falls when Dems talk about them like this. We need everyone. Okay, AOC tweeted. That's where she got upset with people using the word calling 45-year-old people can be woke. It's just going to be a lot different, AOC. You just don't see it that way because your head is so far up your own ass. Now, in contrast, certain political pundits went on air to express the same sentiments that Carville expressed. Specifically, CNN's Don Lemon argued that woke slogans like defund the police are stupid and one of the worst slogans ever. Defund the police, I agree more than 100% with him. Defund the police was a stupid slogan and should have never been brought to the political spotlight. In the political realm, it was an activist's term, Lemon said on CNN over a weekend. Oh, I bet he got... defund Don Lemon. That's never going to happen. Come on, man. It's just taking shots for fun. Police funding was not a pivotal issue for Virginia's governor's race. Based on the exit polls, the primary issues were coronavirus, mask mandates, and curriculum, CRT. But you can see he got backlash for that. But he's got a point. He took that point from somebody else clearly because Don Lemon does not come with anything on his own. He is an activist. He is an activist on CNN that gets paid a lot of money to be an activist. The man's not a good journalist. He takes a lot of drinks on New Year's Eve and says really stupid shit when the ball drops. That's what he's known for, clearly. Now, he says outlandish shit like Howard Stern right here does. But I'm going to continue to say... he has a point when it says defund the police was the stupidest slogan they could have ever came up because it's done nothing but hurt them every step of the way. You want to defund the police, you want to defund this, that, other thing. You're not understanding what you're going to have to fund instead of that, and it's going to be twice as expensive and it's going to be twice as hard to get going. But yet they still preach it and hope that it goes forward. That's where they fuck up, and that's where the wokeness eats them every time. That's what AOC and them don't see. They don't see the terms that they've came up with and preach so heavily and so hard are really what's hurting them. Because I really truly believe America does not want a socialist idea. They do not want a communist idea. They do not want to live under those rules or those thumbs. No matter how many people try to make it sound like it's some great utopia. And then right here, this is from Fox News. New study reports massive pro-censorship efforts from broadcast news. Now, Howard Stern has really been on the masks and the vaccine and people need to get it, this, that, the other. He's pretty far to the left. And for a person that was so against political correctness, especially growing up, I remember growing up, I was not allowed to watch Howard Stern on ETV or whatever it was when he had his radio show on TV. I was not allowed to watch that because of what he was talking about and what he was doing. You know what I mean? So this man really tried to break the glass ceiling for his kind of radio, and the minute it broke, he completely tucked tail and ran because he got that Sirius XM money, and he acted like a bitch ever since. Let's be honest, that's what he's good at. Yeah, y'all hear that rawness, that rain. See, that's if y'all don't know, we're gonna take a small second. I don't edit the videos really, unless there's really a really big fuck up. But I don't edit it really. I like the rawness. I like the sound. I can talk a little bit louder. You can hear the rain in the background. But to me, it's about the rawness, and that's what I'm delivering is the rawness of the story, the rawness of the opinion, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Now, in the midst of the censorship efforts, liberal journalists of often show their support for censoring misinformation. In October, CNN Don Lemon advocated for even censoring opinions that are not based in some sort of fact. It should be true. You have opinions based in fact. Okay, so at the very least, it should be true. And it would be based in some sort of fact, Lemon said. Beyond that, let's start at the base level, the baseline right there, and when we can go on from the rest. See, this is my opinion. CNN's Chris Cuomo's show hit an all-time low. Well, of course they did. They fucking are sucking. Yeah, Memison Call says Biden doesn't have the gall to steamroll Trump's words. Of course, he's a bitch. Oh, like Trump's supporters, like Stalin did the Nazis. Oof. Anyways, when I think of censorship and I think of what the left is trying to do and what the left is trying to get out there, especially when it comes to censorship, when they say based in fact, your opinion doesn't need to be based in fact. I can say I like Narnia more than I like the city of Atlantis. Like, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Like, quit trying to sound so righteous when you're really just stupid and dead wrong. Censorship in no way is a good thing. To censor somebody, you censor one thing, you got to censor everything. So let social consequences play out. Like I've said before, you want to run around yelling the N-word, someone bust you in the fucking mouth, I don't think you should be able to, they hit me in the mouth. Social consequences, again, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? Well, that's how I see a lot of this. And I see a lot of people being able to scapegoat and get away with things that they would never normally be able to get away with under the disguise of wokeness and political correctness and cancel culture, this, that, what they're using to their benefit to hurt someone else. But yet they're normally doing something pretty bad in their own right. Like Don Lemon would love to say you need to censor your opinions, but he won't censor his. Chris Cuomo won't censor his. Fucking Dana Bash won't censor hers. Like, let's keep it a buck all day. And CNN's not going to have their host, their anchors censored. Brian Stelter's never going to censor his dumbass opinions. He's proven that time and time again. He's not a reliable source, but yet he still hosts the show. Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, they don't really hold a candle to anybody that actually takes journalism and being a news anchor. I don't think they take it seriously. I think they enjoy the paycheck. I think they enjoy being in suits on TV. But I don't think they take the job seriously like Tucker and Hannity do. I think they're really Ingram. Fucking great. I'm not even a big fan of Greg Gutfeld, but I think he takes his job seriously. I think he tries to do good at his job. Unlike so many anchors on MSNBC and CNN. Especially when you have so many anchors like Chris Hayes, Joy Reid, Don Lemon, all of them back up white supremacy is why Virginia lost. Rah, rah, rah. Especially when you have anchors and news hosts that are saying that Winsome Sears she might be black, but she's not a voice for the black community. I'm pretty sure she's a voice for her black community. You may not like it, but I'm sure she is. But it's that kind of rhetoric that really puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, except for the viewers that watch them, which doesn't seem to be going too well. Now let's pull up that MSNBC article. This is going to be we're going to finish off with this article because it's just been jumping around talking shit about everything and anything, you know what I mean? Now, this article says MSNBC columnist says Biden doesn't have the gall to steamroll Trump supporters like Stalin did the Nazis. MSNBC columnist on Tuesday laminated that President Joe Biden doesn't have the gall to imitate former Soviet Union dictator Joseph Stalin by steamrolling his opponents like whom he likened to the Nazis. The columnist Eric Garcia advised that Biden's presence in the White House did not inflame Republican base in the quite the same way as former President Barack Obama or Democrat President nominee Hillary Clinton. However, he said anti-Biden phase Let's Go Brandon has earned the secret password status among the president's opponents and argued that it illustrated that they were befuddled over how to combat Biden. Oh, no, they're not. See, this is how you know that this person stays in an echo chamber. We know Let's Go Brandon makes liberals mad. We know fuck Biden makes liberals mad. But to know how to deal with him, the only way we can deal with him is hope that our Republicans in office continue to fight back against the mandates and whatever executive power bullshit he tries to pull out. I think Biden is just as polarizing and just as hated as Obama was, and I think he's just as hated as Hillary Clinton was. Hillary Clinton, I think, was just the devil in disguise for a lot of people. I think she really put a huge distaste in a lot of people's mouth. I think Obama, after Bush, got lucky because so many people were tired with Bush and his bullshit and all that extra shit. I think they were done with it. So Obama got kind of lucky. But Obama also ran on time for a change, and it all seemed to be a big, gigantic lie. It made it worse for almost every American, but somehow made it better for other countries, which was baffling, just like Biden's doing. So I think that's what befuddles Americans, is because you build back better. You're not building America back better. You're building back Russia and building back China. But then again, I guess your slogan works then, right? Because it's not building back. It's not building America back better. It's build back better. You can be a dick about it. But the Let's Go Brandon, that really riles up liberals. That really makes them mad. And I can only imagine when you go to these stadiums in lefty cities. Like, I was so proud of Minneapolis when I heard "fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe Biden" in the Vikings stadium. Oh, your boy was happy. Because I already know there were so many mad liberals in the motherfucking crowd. And they couldn't stop it. But yet they was clapping the motherfucking gums, though. You know what I mean? That's what I found funny. And that's what I found almost irritating, in a sense. Like, y'all assholes really thought that motherfuckers was shook, was bothered. We're not bothered. We're not shook. We're going to keep on moving. We're going to keep on grooving. We're going to keep on living our lives. We're going to keep on trying to stack this bread even under Biden. We're going to keep trying to live our lives and make sure our kids get the best education and the best life they possibly can. We're going to try to keep our kid innocent. We're going to try to keep our kids happy. We're going to try to keep our kids away from so many people like Biden. Now, it may not be hard. It may not be easy. It may be one of the hardest things that parents have had to do, but they're prepared to motherfucking do it. They've stayed up now time and time again when it comes to CRT, when it comes to mandates. You see parents talking out. You see parents standing up. And that shit, I think, is what befuddles the left. It makes the left mad. That's what I see, and that's how I see it. The left is scared. The left is afraid of the conservatives. They're afraid of the conservative movement because they don't have that movement. They don't have that camaraderie, even though they want to be comrades. They don't have that shit. They don't got nobody showing up to rallies 10,000 deep unless those 10,000 is about to ruin some shit, and that would be Antifa or BLM, which a lot of Democrats try to, oh, well, we're not a part of them. We just call them when we need them, looking ass. Instead, he added, liberals should be saying, that's it. The only thing that the entire political operation and its adjoining media organs, which are entirely dedicated to delegitimizing elections and promoting public health and misinformation, the devastating effect can concoct, is a proxy chant. Now, see, that they're trying. MSNBC is trying. Mediaite is, I'm not saying Mediaite, but MSNBC columnist is really trying here. This would be to inflame its base. The base is failing. All they could come up with is a chant. That's what they were able to do. They were able to come up with a chant. They're in Fox News and Newsmax. All they're doing is delegitimizing the election that we still can't prove was won correctly. Oh, and medical misinformation. Oh, the medical information that we give out is 100% no matter what because Dr. Fauci said so. Shut the hell up. And that's exactly how it looks. And that's why so many people do not trust MSNBC and do not trust CNN. And that's why so many people watch them just for sound bites. Now, I read CNN, I read MSNBC, because you got to read what the other side, especially what the other side is trying to get at. You got to read, you got to be aware. But when they say dumb shit like this, crazy. And the one thing I can be happy about is Trump's no longer in office, so it's not continuous hit pieces all day, every day. They actually have to talk about other shit. So now it just seems like they're trying to make the left, the radical left, the progressive left sound like they're so empowered and so badass, when really they're hanging on by a fucking thread. And the world can see they're hanging on by a thread. And there is nothing that the progressive left can do, because what they want to run on is bullshit. How they run on it is bullshit. And how they attack everyone else that doesn't buy into their bullshit is bullshit. But yet here we are. And we're going to keep covering it time and time again. And this is why it's so easy to roast so many on the left. It's why it's so easy to roast so many of the people we see on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, that really just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're just using straw man talking points. They're just using talking points that literally go nowhere but except above their own heads, but yet here we are. And that's something that in my show, I'm going to continue to point out as often as I can, because it needs to be pointed out in my eyes. This cannot continue to happen. We cannot end up with another president like Biden, or more clown council members, or more elected officials like AOC and Ilhan Omar. because they're doing nothing for America except hurting America. They're doing nothing for their cities except hurting their cities. And I think that's why people are waking up and realizing, whoa, I've really been asleep for way too long at the wheel, and I need to know what's going on, how it's going on, and I need to be present now more than ever. And that's why we see the movement we see. And that's why we see the people and the parents and the teachers that are against all this shit. And I throw teachers in there because there are good teachers. There are teachers that are against these mask mandates and against these vaccinations. It's good that they are, because those people are there to watch the children and help the children learn. Let's be honest. And if you have teachers that are so okay with indoctrination, that's a problem. Like when you got CNN anchor, I don't know her name, but she was going back and forth with Senator Scott. Senator Scott was saying their teachers are teaching